Hi guys, welcome back to Spice Channel TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you're joining us for the first time, please kindly subscribe and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. My country people, it's happening. Now the ex-militant leaders, they're now fighting over this 48 billion naira pipeline contract renewal. They are fighting over it. There's another round of tension, and it has gripped the oil industry in the Niger Delta over the renewal of the 48 billion naira oil pipeline surveillance contract awarded to the former leader of the dreaded movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, MEND, Chief Government Ekpamuro Tompolo. Already, the renewal of the contract had pitched Tompolo against his colleagues involved in the struggle in the region, particularly the leader of the different Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, Asari Dokubo. We have others, HRM, Atike Tom, we have Victor Ben, Alice, Boylove, we have Chief Boybo Pere, and others. Other ex-warlords in Imo State axis of the region, other commanders in Nigeria, amongst others, across the states of the oil-rich belt. The multi-billion-naira security job awarded to Tanita Security Service, owned by Tompolo, in August 2022 is due for renewal by the end of this month, a development which has triggered intense intrigues by some ex-warlords to wrestle it from the former main commander. Leadership gathered that the ex-militant commanders are strongly opposed to the renewal of the contract package, exclusively packaged for Tompolo in 2022. We recall that the contract surveillance covers the contract covers surveillance and protection of oil pipelines, which cuts various oil producing communities in Bayelsa, in Delta, Ondo, Imo, and Rivers State. The award of this job to Tompolo was facilitated by the former Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ove Omoagege, the former Minister of State for Petrol, Chief Temipere Silva, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mr. Mali Kari, in August 2022. 1 year later, as Tompolo prepared to approach the management of the NNPCL for the renewal of the job, his ex-colleagues were up in arms against him. The protesting ex-militant commanders are agitating for the splitting of the contracts to accommodate divergent interests. There are mounting pressures on the presidency and the NNPC not to re-award the contract solely to Tompolo and his outfit in its present components. They have kicked against it. They have kicked against the contract awarded to Tompolo, which would cover places outside his areas of influence in the Gabaru Mutu axis of Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State. They insisted that the way of his operation should be limited only to communities in Delta State, while they are also allowed to operate in other areas. So they rejected the template offered by the embattled warlord to sublet part of the job to them in their different enclaves, insisting that the package being offered by Tompolo was at variance with his earnings from the NNPCL for the job. Instead, it was learnt that they are in fact, they want this contract so badly that they want the contract to be splitted with its components awarded separately to individual ex-commanders, to their men, to their areas of influence. So already the aggrieved warlords have protested to the presidency, especially the National Security Advisor, Malam Naru Rabidu and Kari, apparently to halt the moves to award the contract in bulk to their kingsmen. And we've learned that Carey reportedly advised these protesters to remain calm pending the inauguration of the Minister of State for Petroleum, Senator Hanikin Lukobari, who is expected to prepare a memo on the fostering issue for the attention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it was gathered that Tompolo was also having a running battle with his kingsmen and some close associates of Tinubu who were hell-bent on punishing him for allegedly not supporting the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) in the 2023 polls. They accused the ex-militant commander of having supported and heavily funded the main opposition party, that's the PDP, within and outside Delta State in the just concluded election. Those opposing Tompolo said he did not reciprocate the visit of Tinubu in company with Carey and other top party stewards to his enclave on Friday, November 25th, 2022. And the visit of another team raised by the president and headed by Carey with Wale and Sheyi Tinubu as members of the team. On the eve of the governorship and the House of Assembly's election on March 18th, 2023, that's March 17th, 2023, to garner votes and support for the governoring. However, to strive off any untold developments, Tompolo's men and foot soldiers were reported to have relocated to Abuja to intensify lobby to retain the status quo in the award of the job. And yes, leadership gathered that they have approached Ribadu Kari, the chief of staff of the president, Mr. Femi Gabajamila, and other influential members of the inner circles of Tinubu, including the members of the president's immediate family, for help. But despite stiff opposition, investigation by this paper revealed that Tompolo's bid to renew the job still enjoy the backing and the support of Silva, which is apparently relying on the former M-Ment leader for support in the November 2023 gubernatorial election in Bayelsa State. Also, we have Omo Agege, who was said to have forgiven Tompolo for not supporting his gubernatorial ambition in the 2023 election, and the chief executive of the NNPCL. They were reportedly touching base with powerful links within and outside the presidency to ensure that Tompolo triumphed, to make sure he come out victorious in this war. Because there are some forces, they want to make sure that they take this job away from Tompolo. They are fighting hard to make sure that they take this away from Tompolo. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? Some have alleged that this is the main reason why Asari Dokubo has been romancing with Tinubu to make sure he secures the contracts. But we all know, although Asari Dokubo debunked those claims that he wasn't going to meet Tinubu because he was eyeing Tompolo's contracts. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comment section. Thank you.